Hello and welcome. This is one of my favorite topics to talk about, really, and this has to do with your unique genius and what makes you special, what makes you different. So, a lot of people I've noticed, even in calls with entrepreneurs, CEOs, they just don't know what it is they're actually good at. And for me, I know that I went through this phase too, where it was like, I kind of have a feeling of like what I'm good at. I know I'm good at with people, but like I couldn't really put a finger on what it was. I hadn't really scratched the surface of what it was that I was really, really good at. So each one of us has this genius that lives inside of us and it wants to come free. Like it wants to be set free so that you can do it and you can bring this into the world. But a lot of times we just don't know what it is we're really, really good at, or we don't put ourselves in an environment to let this really shine and let this really grow. And so for me, understanding my genius, and this has nothing to do with your IQ, this is like what makes you you. And this is a blending of your talents and abilities that really you can bring forward in the biggest way possible and feel the most fulfilled in your life whenever you mix and blend these talents together. And so, honestly, this isn't something that a lot of people are out there talking about. I know because I studied this material and I pretty much scoured the internet for additional information about this. But these gene keys, so it's like a deep dive into your human design gate. It takes the time you were born, the location, and literally just tells you what you're really, really good at so that you can use that as a form of inspiration. You can lock that into your big, beautiful mind and say, hey, this actually is what I'm really, really good at. Like that feels good to me. And so you lock that in and you will start experiencing that in the world around you as you show up for your work, as you show up for your business and your day-to-day life. So learning these gene keys has been one of the biggest blessings of my life because it activated something inside my system that was so ready to be turned on. Like there's just so many people out there that are just running their business kind of like a chicken with their head cut off. They're not really sure what it is they're supposed to be leaning into, or they change niches every second just because it's like, oh, this seems fun. Like when we learn what we're really, really good at, what our life's purpose is, what our life's work is, how we grow, how we evolve, how we make money. All of that combines together and shows what your actual genius is and how you can bring that forward in your business. So for me, whenever I learned that my life's work was actually, it's the 30-second gene key. And so whenever I learned that my life's work was this 30-second gene key, I was like, okay, this actually makes a lot of sense for times where I was able to like almost forecast for people what would be successful for them. But I never really just counted that as a talent or ability until I learned these gene keys. And I found this is called the Success Oracle, and I can incorporate this into my career. And so I recognized that I could either worry about failure or I could direct my energies into knowing what will be successful for me and other people, whether that be investments, whether that be energetic investments, how you spend your time and your energy, like where it counts to like be brave and show up. Because you don't need to be throwing your energy everywhere. It needs to be channeled. It needs to be precise. So I found out I was the Success Oracle and I was like, bam. It made so much sense. It paved the way and took me 20 steps forward in understanding what I'm naturally really, really good at. So then I could start applying that to my business. I started creating courses around it, creating content, making my branding be around that. And so that's why these are so important. If you are a CEO or if you're in business and you're like ready to pivot or you're ready to make it come alive, like knowing what you have to bring to the table that makes you shine will be just an extra tool in your tool belt as you move forward. And the thing is, the people that will be attracted to you is going to be like such a higher caliber because you're doing what you're really, really good at. I always tell people like, you can live and die without these gene keys, but if they come into your life, it's for a reason. They are here to spark something. They are here for you to take these little nuggets of wisdom and run with them. A lot of people that teach these gene keys will teach you about contemplation. And I love contemplating them. They're very complex like topics and ideas. And so they do really well whenever we let them stir and purr in our system. We let them marinate, because then we'll get even better ideas that come out of it. But eventually you have to come to the place, and this is where it's almost like you make the words on the pages come alive. You put these things, these tools, these superpowers you have into action. And the way that it shows up in your business is the most beautiful thing ever. You will have so much more energy because you're actually like channeling what you're really, really good at. You'll feel even more creative with the content that you make, because it's like, oh, this is like the song of my soul. I'm speaking out loud right now. And you will have so much more motivation to keep driving forward, to keep being persistent no matter what you're seeing, because you're like, this is my roadmap. I gotta go. This is my golden pathway. So unlocking your genius is going to be the best thing that you ever do for yourself. Even if you're just deciding right here, right now, I'm going to discover my genius. I know my genius. Like that's how it started for me. I literally just reiterated the fact every day. I was like, I understand my genius. I understand my genius. And then all of these pieces came together. They fell into place over a period of like 6 months. I used to not be able to talk this way. My voice was something I was very bashful about coming forward and like actually using my voice. But the gene keys and the motivation from that, I found out that I have something called, like, one of them is the ring of no return. And it says, once you really start using your voice, there's no going back. And so I leaned into that. Even when I was scared, even when I was nervous, I put myself in new positions that was going to stretch me. Like, I get and show up on lives multiple times every day, because it's like jumping through that terror barrier to get to that next level of you. See how far you can stretch yourself, how big you can go. And I'm so glad I did it. I'm so glad I listened to these gene keys and to my genius, because now I feel really, really comfortable whenever I talk on screen, whenever I talk in front of a group of people, and it's just going to get better from here. Like, do you see? It just keeps getting better because you lock in what you're really good at, and then that's what starts showing up in your world. So activate your genius, learn these gene keys. And if you're somebody that's like, hey, this is a lot of information, I make it super easy for you, where you can go to my link in my bio and schedule a full gene key activation today, where I sit down with you. I do all the homework, bring all this juice forward for you so you can run with it. Or for the CEOs and business owners that are like, I really want to go deep with this. This stuff is so, like, this stuff turns me on so much. I have an 8-week personalized business activation called Profit from Your Purpose, and you can DM me about those details, and I can send you all the juice with that. So play with these gene keys. Let them come alive in your life, because I am telling you what, I have watched other people. I watched myself do it first, but I watched other people just come alive in their business like they're freaking dynamite once they learn this information. And I know that you can too. So we'll see you later.